Now, the connection between belief and truth is an interesting one. Consider when we say things like Jones believes that the sun is shining. What we're saying is that, if I could get the thing to come up, Jones believes or believed that it is true that the sun is shining. In other words, the proposition is P, let's say, is the sun is shining. Jones believes that P is the same thing as he believes that P is true. So when you believe a proposition, you believe that, remember the correspondence theory of truth, that the proposition correctly describes the way the world is. Whether your belief is true, that is, the proposition that you believe, whatever that is, doesn't depend on how strongly you believe it. Right? It doesn't matter that Jones feels really sure that the sun is shining. That's not what makes his belief true. What makes his belief true is whether what he believes correctly describes the way the world, in fact, is. Now that leads us to a point about belief and disagreement. When two people disagree, what's going on is the following. One believes a proposition, and the other one disbelieves the very same proposition. So Jones believes that Romney will be a good president, but Smith disagrees. That is, Smith believes that Romney will not be a good president. Notice, Romney will be a good president, one proposition. Romney will not be a good president, another proposition. In this case, Jones and Smith disagree. Now, sometimes there's an ambiguity about whether there's a disagreement or not. Feldman gives us the example in number 19. Father and son are talking, and they're talking about the son's friend has no license. You're wondering what kind of name is has no license? Well, think about it. Has no license, can drive. Has no license, can't drive. And the father says, has no license, can't drive. And the son says, no, has no license, can drive. Now, there might not be a disagreement then because there's an ambiguity in the proposition. That is, this can't here, I think, is ambiguous. That is, it could mean one or two things. When the father says it, he's talking about has no license. He's gotten the name has no license because he doesn't have a license. Is not allowed by law to drive a car. So when the father says has no license, can't drive a car, he means has no license, is not allowed to. Now the son does not believe that has no license has a license and is allowed by law to drive a car, but rather he would take what his father is saying in 19 as being has no license, does not have the ability to drive a car. And maybe the son hasn't exactly followed his father's directions, and he's gotten into a car with has no license, who has no license and should not be driving.